Hey guys, it's Rando, and in the last video I made, I actually talked about my favorite maps in Call of Duty Black Ops 3. But in this video, I'm actually going to be talking about my top 3 worst maps of Call of Duty Black Ops 3. So without further ado, let's get started. Actually, before we get started here, I just want to put a little disclaimer here saying that I had a hard time making this list, with the exception of the last one, which is at number 1. I had trouble creating this list because I don't feel like these maps are actually that bad. All the maps in Black Ops 3 are actually not really that bad because they are relatively simple, usually 3-laned maps. Actually, all of them are 3-laned maps, so they're really simple maps. But yeah, without further ado again, let's get started. So coming in at number 3 is Havoc. Havoc gets number 3 because I think it has some awkward gameplay and sightlines on the map. Now, in the big building in the middle, or actually not really in the middle, on the side, I feel like that's a little bit of a power position, like it's too powerful sometimes, especially if someone's using like a Shiva inside of it or another good weapon. It's really hard to get in there, especially if you have like the whole team in there. You know, you have to have good teammates first of all, and that's something that is hard to find in Black Ops 3 for whatever reason. But yeah, that's pretty much why it gets number 3 on my worst maps. And honestly, it's not that bad of a map. I think I can still play it, or I feel like I can still play it fine. But I just feel like the gameplay is kind of awkward, and that's why it gets number 3. This is how hard it is to find actual bad maps in the game. And number 2 is another map that I think is actually not that bad, but it still makes this top 3, is Evac. So I really don't have much of a problem with Evac. I do like the layout of the map because it's like 3-laned. Everything makes sense within the map, but I just can't seem to get anything going on that map ever. Like I never know what kind of weapon to use. Like I've used LMGs, shotguns, just every gun on like that map, but I can never seem to do well on it. I also think that the map is a little bit campy. It has a lot of head glitch spots, much like a lot of other maps, actually all the other maps in Black Ops 3, but for some reason, this map seems a little bit more orientated to defensive players that are not as rushy. I like to rush, I like to be more up-in-your-face type of gameplay style, but this map kind of works better for people who are playing on the defensive side, more like waiting for their enemies to come to them, and that's really what works better in this game personally, from my experience. But for someone that I like to rush, it doesn't work as well for me on this map, so I don't think it really hits that perfect balance. Coming in at number 1 is actually Aquarium. This one was actually not hard for me to find. Now, in theory, this map is actually laid out pretty well, but I think gameplay-wise, it just doesn't work. Again, it's another campy map, but it's not really that campy. Less campy than Evac, for sure, in my opinion. But one of the downfalls of this map is actually how defensive-orientated it is, like Evac. But it really is, like, way more defensive than Evac is, in my opinion. I feel like every time I play on Aquarium, I just find myself like head glitching and waiting for the enemy to come to me. There's not enough incentive to actually like attack a player on the map, in my opinion, because it's just too defensive. Like people who are waiting for you to come are gonna have a lot more of a better chance of like winning the battle than if I'm attacking, and there should be a balance on these maps. Like Fringe, for example, has lots of opportunities to attack and also defend yourself from attacking players, so there's a good balance on that map, in my opinion. Another problem I have with the map is the middle. So one side actually gets a high ground, and then one side gets a lower ground, which is significantly lower, like 1 story lower, and it's pretty low, to be honest. But the low side, although it does have more cover, I still think that it is outmatched by the high ground, because the high ground will always have a better chance at killing you, because even if you are in cover, they can still shoot you through the wall or something like that. Unless you're like way behind the wall, then they can't. But I still think that the middle in that map is just very unbalanced in my opinion because of the differences in height on both sides. So anyways, that is the end of this video, guys. That is my top 3 worst maps of Black Ops 3. Again, these are just my opinions, and you can have your opinions in the comment section below because I would really like to see what the general consensus is on like bad maps or good maps and all these things. If you haven't seen my video on my top 3 maps, then the link to that will be in the description below if you guys want to go check that out. I really do recommend that. But other than that, that is the end of the video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. This is Rando, and I'll see you all in the next video.